So before you lift something heavy, a good tip would be to basically have a mantra that you say. I remember Ronnie, he used to say, he used to scream lightweight. And I simply just say, I'm ready. Like if so, just before I'm about to lift, I just say, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. That's that's the what I say. It's not something that I even really, I thought of consciously. But as you progress in the gym and you're like, you know what, once you stop saying it and then subconsciously you start saying it again, unconsciously you start saying it again, you're like, I'm ready. It's like pumps you up and makes you ready. It's like how people on the internet now they say lock in. It's basically, you can say lock in, you can say whatever you want. You just have something that works for you. And it basically just tells yourself, tells your brain, tells the body, okay, get ready, we're about to lift some heavy weight. It sounds weird and mystical, but a lot of physical strength comes from mental strength. Like the amount of guys I've trained with, and before they even attempt a heavy movement, they'll say, nah, it's too heavy. Ronnie Coleman used to say, everybody wants to be a bodybuilder, but nobody wants to lift some heavy ass weight. Now, that's absolutely spot on. Don't be scared of heavyweight. Of course, be safe, have a spotter, and don't be stupid, but don't be scared of lifting heavy ass weight. You should always go into the mindset of, or always have this mindset of, I can lift this, or this, at least I can get out a couple of reps. But if you're doing like 60 kg bench press, let's just say you're doing 60 kilograms, there's no way you're going to be able to do 100 kilograms. I think, you can push out a set of one or two just from mental strength. So still be, still have, still be safe. Don't be stupid. Have a spotter. But to get stronger in the gym, you need to have that mental ability and that, that attitude that I can lift this, I'm strong. It has to be with some kind of, an element of progressive overload, which is what getting strong in general is. But let's just say you've been stuck on 60 kilograms, right? This was me, actually. This is a story about myself. I was stuck on 60 kilograms on a flat bench. This was years and years ago. I think I was 16. I was 6 on 60. I was stuck on 60 kilograms and I just could not progress. It was like for like a year, maybe even longer. I just could not get past 60 kilograms. And I can't remember what happened. I saw a video, I think it was, or I basically saw someone else doing 60 kilograms. And then I thought, you know what? I'm bigger than this guy. I've been training longer than this guy. Why can't I do 60 kilograms? And then I did like 62 kilograms. So I did I did 62.5 kilograms. And then as soon as I could do that, and it was actually very, very easy for me. It was just like a mental thing. It was that having the attitude that, yeah, I can do this. This guy I've seen can do it. I'm stronger than him. I'm better than him. Why can I not do it? And then I did whatever I did. And then quickly I progressed to 65. And as the weeks went on, I basically just progressed rapidly. And then before I knew it, I was on 90 kilograms. And then the next kind of plateau I had was 100 kilograms. So if you're scared of progressing past 60 kilograms, just know that someone a lot younger than you, someone who's been training a lot less than you, has blown you out of the water, basically. And as soon as you have that attitude that someone else has done it, why have I not done it? Then that will basically, that should motivate you. It's like that story of the first person who ever did the 4-minute miles. Basically, before the guy who did the 4-minute mile, literally people thought that it was impossible. It was impossible. People got close, but no one got a sub 4-minute mile. Until the first guy who got a sub 4-minute mile, this was after years and years of like athletics or training and whatnot. And as soon as that guy broke the record, within, I think it was 2 weeks or 2 months, someone broke it straight away. All of these years, no one could break the record. And then as soon as someone saw someone else do it, they're like, you know what, it is possible. Someone else has done it. And then they broke it. That's the same thing and same mentality you need to have. Just know in your mind, even if you've not seen it, just know someone's done this. Why can't I do it? And if you have that thing in your head, that feeling in your head that, you're going to fail the weight, just push them thoughts out. Strength, ability, just the ability to do anything you want starts in the mind. If you simply think you can't do it, you won't be able to do it. There's that saying, the person who thinks they can and the person who thinks they can't. And 9 times out of 10, both of them are right. So if you think you can do it, you probably can do it. And if you can't do it, then you definitely can't do it. The same thing works the opposite way now. If you're thinking about failing the weight, or you think you can't do it, the odds are you will not be able to do it. You'll fail it. But if you think, you know what, I can do it, I'm going to do it. Even if I can't do it, I'm going to at least even hold the weight. Like that makes a difference too. I'll come on to that in a second. Just to hold the weight, feel the weight, so the nervous system gets used to the weight. That is also a big thing too. Now, before you go to the gym, you can do this thing, and it's a visualization. You just visualize yourself having an unbelievable workout. You visualize yourself hitting heavy weights, hitting PRs, and just and basically just crushing a workout. Because just visualizing it makes a big difference because you can see it in your mind's eye. Now, if you go to the gym or if you're preparing to go to the gym and you have this attitude that, you know what, I can't be bothered, I don't want to go today, I just don't feel up to it. The odds are when you go to the gym, you'll have a horrible, like a shit workout, you won't do any PRs, you probably feel worse. So it's very important that when you go to the gym, even before going to the gym, even when you're in the car park of the gym, you kind of, you're ready. You're ready for the workout. You're pumped for the workout. And the way you can do this, even if you can't psych yourself up, but simply before before you hit the weights, have a phrase you say, like a mantra or like an affirmation or something like that. So before you lift something heavy, a good tip will be to basically have a mantra that you say. I remember Ronnie, he used to say, he used to scream lightweight. And I simply just say, I'm ready. Like if so, just before I'm about to lift, I just say, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. That's what I say. It's not something that I even really, I thought of consciously. But as you progress in the gym and you're like, you know what, once you stop saying it and then you subconsciously you start saying it again, unconsciously you start saying it again, you're like, I'm ready. It's like pumps you up and makes you ready. It's like, you know how people on the internet now, they say lock in. It's basically, you can say lock in, you can say whatever you want. You just have something that works for you. And it basically just tells yourself, tells your brain, tells the body, okay, get ready, we're about to lift some heavy weight. And some other things you need to control, which will basically make you feel stronger, which will serve as a foundation for you to become stronger and feel stronger. Make sure you're eating enough. Now, if you're on a cut, then that's a little bit, you have to apply a bit of context. You're not going to feel really, really strong on a cut compared to, say, if you're maintaining, if you're full of carbohydrates, if you're on a bulk. So make sure you apply a bit of context. If you're like, you know what, I'm on a cut, I don't feel right, what can I do, smile? Just, you have to apply a bit of context. Just think, this too shall pass. I think it says that in the Bible, even though I'm Muslim, but I know it does say that in the Bible. Make sure you're eating enough. Make sure you're getting in enough sleep, 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single day. Good quality sleep where, you don't really get interrupted. As I said before, on a cut, it will be a little bit difficult, but make sure you do, you make sure you do your part. You still, you still get your sleep in. You still make sure you're getting the right amount of protein. If you want, have a bit of, I don't really dabble in pre-workouts, but have some kind of pre-workout. There's a natural pre-workout you can have, and it is basically you get a spoonful of a good quality honey. You put a bit of salt on it for the electrolytes, and that is basically your pre-workout. And you have, your creatine before your workout. And what the honey does, it's basically honey absorbs very quickly into the body. Now you pair the honey with your electrolytes, which is a salt, and you basically have loads more energy when you go to the gym. And then you obviously have your creatine, which I think creatine has a mild stimulant effect, a very, very mild one. I think for some people it actually does not have any kind of stimulant effect. But that, if you were to have a pre-workout and you're like, you know what, I don't want to have a caffeine workout, I want to have like a more of a natural one, something which I know what kind of ingredients is in that kind of supplement, then you can do what I just said. And if you want help getting really strong in the gym, I wouldn't say I had a lot of experience with feeling weak in the gym, but I just knew some things which certain individuals might not be aware of, especially if you're a newcomer to the gym. If you're someone who's really new on this gym journey, feeling weak, feeling intimidated, feeling like people in the gym are just way past your level of strength, your levels of expertise, your levels of how much knowledge they have. Even something as simple as form, you might be seeing someone in the gym doing like a completely random not workout, but an exercise, and you think, you know what, I'm in the wrong place. These guys are advanced. I don't have anywhere near the knowledge of these guys. Then I strongly consider and recommend you joining my school community. I've made it for brown guys specifically, but for any young guys, any guys in general who don't have, who basically just want an arm around the shoulder, and you're like, Ismail, can you help me with this? Can you basically guide me with this? Guide me with training, guide me with diet, guide me with supplements, with recovery. with how to even cook my meals, what kind of exercises should I do. This is, say for example, you have a skinny fat body, you have a really fat body, something which I've got experience in both. Well, I've got experience with both things. So I strongly consider you joining my school community. It's like $49 a month, which is like £1.20 in the UK, which is basically a bargain. And if you want, proper one-to-one advice, then I'll also offer that in my school community. So if you're someone who's struggling and you watch one video and the guy in the video says something else, you watch another video and then that guy says something else and you're just conflicted and confused. You're like, what's the point even going to the gym? Because that happens a lot. That used to happen to me quite a lot where I wouldn't get to the point where I wouldn't go to the gym, but I'd just be so confused. I'm like, this guy's saying do flat benching, this guy's saying do decline benching, this guy's saying do incline, but he goes, don't do incline because, it can mess up your shoulders. Then it's very, what's the word? It's just very confusing. It's just very confusing. So if you're someone who's confused, you want to get strong in the gym, you want to build an aesthetic physique, you have brown guy problems, which not many, I don't know if any YouTubers make specific videos on that topic, then I would strongly advise you check out my school community. It'll be in the link in the description, the first one. Click on that. Thank you.